All right, welcome to the Songcast.com presentation. I'm Breaking CPK, going to be your shoutcasting host, and joining me is Toby Wankanobi, community shoutcaster, and this is the DYA live from Singapore. We are live here, $14,000 on the line just for this finals. It's $20,000 overall. Already been paid out to the 3rd through 8th place finishers, but this is the grand finale. EG currently up 1-0. Game 2 here in this best of 3 series. It was a great game 1. I would not be surprised to see game 3.
I would definitely not be. It is going to be absolutely insane if we go to 3.
Yes.
We were talking before, like you even see the players right now. We can see them from just down here. You know, all the ice guys getting themselves together. It's just like, what the hell are we going to do? They always go by the seat of the pairs. What are we going to try and do? It's the same with the EG guys. I was talking to them before. There was nothing really planned. Gladiator wasn't really planned at all for the last game. It was just like who else are we going to use? Gladiator's good. Let's go. All right, fair enough. And just play with that kind of stuff. And that's what they did. And they went with it. And this is why we're seeing these really unusual picks, unusual bans as well. Defiler, we're going to see if he actually gets banned off or picked up in this one. He's just curious. One of those heroes that really ripped up in the last game. But what's going to happen now? Nobody really knows.
Yeah.
There is no way to really predict this match. We saw it in the last game. So many group fights. You thought it would go one way. The initiation would have been great coming in. Yeah. And all of a sudden everything's just going ass over tit. And you're like, what the hell just happened?
What the hell just happened indeed. But yeah, so going to be interesting to see it.
There we go.
Just right there by Ice. So they did not want to have to deal with the hero can. And then it finishes off with Pharaoh. The 4 previous bans, Dr. Repulsor, Electrician, Magnus, and Bombardier. So those are, I believe those are 4 of the same bands that indeed we did see last game. In fact, 5 of the 6 of them have been the same bands. That obviously the Defiler, the other different band right here. So, but for obvious reasons, Chew on Defiler dominated that game. Yeah, Pharaoh was the last band right there. Not really a big surprise. Also, okay, yeah, he wasn't last game. I do apologize. But band right there. Devour is left open now. Devour is a famous, popular hero, especially in the U.S. scene. These two teams going at it. Both Ice and EG enjoy to play him. So I would not be surprised to see Devour as a pickup here for one of these two teams.
That is. It's a great hero. We've seen him so many times, especially when he's been the solo mid, to actually be that initiator too. Of course, you do have other people that can just jump themselves right on top. We've seen it so many times. Pebbles did not make the ban pool this time. This is a really cool thing. Like you had the last match, and this is what we were talking about earlier before.
Yeah.
You actually have matches. The first match, it dictates your bans in the second. But because you take out other heroes, so you actually see heroes like Defiler and Pharaoh, they get added to the ban pool. It opens up people like Pebbles. And Pebbles with the burst damage hit so many times. You couple it with Behemoth. Behemoth didn't get taken out this one as well, so he's into the mix. Look for him to come out, and when you couple those two together, it's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of also precision lock-ins for the ganks.
Oh, it really is. The Fissure and the Wall of Mummies are 2 very powerful abilities that really block those players off in those team fights. And we saw last game, in fact, the Mummy Wall from Pharaoh really caused a lot of issues. And as you mentioned, Behemoth is very similar to that. Pebble's not banned, so he was the one other banned last time as well. I do apologize, but yeah, he was one of the other banned last time as well, you mentioned. So going to be interesting. In fact, we do see, how about that? Behemoth and Pebbles are the pickups right there for EG.
The guys are listening to
Almost listening to us. Yeah, Toby's new strat color over here, apparently. No, but so EG going with Behemoth and Pebbles as their first 2 picks. Obviously, we just pretty much talked about them, so what more is there to say other than Chew, Pebbles, awesome combination.
The funny thing was, in the first match that EG played, when they actually went up against
Online Kingdom
in the first match, we saw it so many times with these 2 exact heroes where we actually saw Pebbles toss Behemoth in. He didn't have to move himself into position. The fissure comes in.
Who needs a portal key when you have a movable portal key with you? You know, right?
It's like this big arm. He's like he should be recruited for any sort of baseball. It's awesome to actually pump him out for that one. But you've got massive burst damage from both of them, because you also have the ulti that can come out from Behemoth. He gets tossed in. It will do damage to wherever he lands, but if it doesn't kill the creeps, they still do that extra damage from his ulti on top of it. Who else do they couple it with? They've got a basically a good early mid-game ganker. They've got a good support hero. They still leave themselves open. Like, you've got Thunderbringer coming in here for Ice. They've now picked up Chipper as well. Chipper, we saw him actually, I think we saw Ice actually use him as a solo in the middle lane.
I believe so,
a couple of matches ago. And he is currently in the hands of Purify, and maybe he could do something on that one. I'm interested to see how they're going to deal with the burst damage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, with that said, the Legion team, their first two pickups, very heavy intellect style burst hero. So both teams, they have a lot of burst damage coming out already, making it be a very, very active and entertaining game, of course. This third pick now 4 seconds left, so obviously you need to make it quick. Ooh, Sand Wraith. So not burst damage, but a lot of damage over time.
Late game carry.
Late game carry, exactly. We've seen him a couple of times throughout the tournament. In fact, ICE did use him in game 2 against XTU, which they really had a good lead with, and they ran with it. So very, very powerful hero. We've seen him several times, as I mentioned. Awesome hard carry. We tend to see him in a tri-lane especially.
If we get what they're predicting at the moment, this is going to be an amazing game.
It is. It really is. I mean, like we got the first two pickups on either side, just very entertaining, very burst style heroes. Obviously, Sand Wraith doesn't fit that, but he is a very entertaining late game hero, and that ultimate causes a lot of issues.
Yeah, that it does at the moment. Like you can see him tossing up there. It doesn't really give anything away because obviously you can right click on anyone's portrait right now. There's nothing that ICE can do that's going to wait and see what they actually pick up. But if you see Bubbles and Witch Slayer come into this lineup, holy heck.
Yeah.
That's just like so much heck. And they still leave themselves open for their fifth and final pick after seeing the entire lineup.
And
they go straight for it. Bubbles and Witch Slayer.
Pubbles combination.
Yes.
Pubbles.
The Pubbles.
That's what I call them. Pebbles and Bubbles.
I love it.
I hate them being on the same team.
Yeah, exactly.
So for that reason, it's really annoying.
But you look at them and you've got what? Silence.
Yeah.
Stun from the Bubbles ulti if they go outside the area. He can chase people down as well. Witch Slayer has a stun and a hex as well as massive burst damage. Pebbles has basically a disable through damage through the toss. You can throw the second mites down as well. That's going to stun anyone in the area. Behemoth can come in with a massive AoE damage as well as his fissure to do any like massive range stuns as well as the wall off. They still have their carry on top of this. It's a great ganking side.
The thing is about that, I was actually going to talk about that. You said that you more than likely maybe pick up a carry as their fifth. Honestly, EG has been known to run a lineup like this where they pretty much rely on Pebbles to play their carry, honestly, and they just go for a very aggressive early game strategy. I would not be surprised to see if we see them continue a strategy like that here with the pickup. But how about those last couple of pickups there for the Legion team? Hammerstorm our first time and Vindicator. Both of those heroes are first time we've seen this in this event today. Powerful heroes, but Vindicator, we don't see him a lot, but he is very useful for, heroes that rely a lot on combination. Behemoth, Bubbles, Witch Slayer, and Pebbles all relied a lot on combination. So, in a sense, when you really think about it, it makes a very, very good, it is a very good pickup. It will cause a lot of issues as long as he's nearby, but he is really squishy. So, but now, of course, waiting on the last pick from EG. Going to be interesting to see, as I said, whether or not they go for that aggressive, very aggressive lineup, or if they have that hard carry that they can rely on in the later game. Because right now they're going up against the Sand Wraith. There really aren't many carries out there that can compete later game, honestly.
That is very true. At the moment, they're throwing Flip Beastwood into the portrait as a temporary thing. He is a good carry. He can be aggressive as well. Obviously, you do have that ability to basically just throw down the explosive flare, slowing everyone down the area.
There we go.
And he does that massive damage, and we will actually see him come out too. So they want to get the DPS out of them. A very, very, very aggressive lineup.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how they actually lay this. More than likely, Flint Beastwood. Would you go maybe solo top even?
No.
Maybe solo mid?
Honestly, we're probably going to see a tri... Well, okay. Usually we would see a tri-lane Flint Beastwood, but this is EG we're talking about, and just like I said before, they tend to run strategies a little bit different. We have seen a Pebbles tri-lane with them. They're the only team to do that, so very likely that is at least thinking, I'm sure, from ICE. They're very aware of that as well. Pebbles tri-lane, they have ran it, a very fast portal key. Of course, Pebbles relied on that. Obviously, he gets the nerf in level, so that's kind of the balance there. But we'll see how they decide to go with. But the countdown has started. We're now loading into the game. Game 2 coming up here. ICE versus EG. $14,000 on the line. $10,000 for the winner. $4,000 for second place. 1-0 series lead currently for EG. Game 2 here. Will we see a Game 3 with ICE winning, or will EG take it into right away? Good old-fashioned right here. A pause to start the game, so we're going to have to wait a little bit, obviously, to see the lanes, how they set it up. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hellborn team, a little bit more set perhaps, but it's, again, still could kind of switch it up. But with that said, the Legion team now, how are they going to lane? Because they got it. It's very interesting. They have that tri-lane potential, but it's not too often we see double melee in a tri-lane, but we'll probably see Hammerstorm, Sand Wraith, Vindicator, and then at Shipper and Thunderbringer solos. They could run a 2-2-1 style as well with this lineup, very likely, so they can adjust if they want to.
I'm wondering if you use Hammerstorm as a roamer, because at the moment, like, they got good AoE stun that actually comes out from him. He can move himself between the lanes. Vindicator, we've seen him so far in the tournament. I don't think we've seen a single time where he's been on the Legion side when he hasn't gone. I think he'll go down towards the bottom lane. It was used yesterday a fair amount, but Vindicator down there in the bottom lane. He's a good way to go, especially if he does get support there from that tri lane. It allows him to do the pulls. Sandwraith can actually focus on that as well. They still actually have everything going in there. And Breaky's Echo is hot. I love it. Oh, the snap comes in from Bubbles. That's right, he shell serve straight into that snap. I didn't just do that. All right, but you are right. It's very interesting to see. Hopefully they do actually go off this pause so we can see where the people will walk out. Obviously, we're not going to see a level 1 Kongor this time around.
Yeah.
For the main reason, that
exactly.
never works.
As I said right away, as soon as it happened, that's a one-time thing in a series, let alone a tournament. Honestly, if one team runs that throughout a tournament, you know that the other team will they'll keep that in mind. They'll be like, well, let's be aware of that. So obviously, that's only going to happen once. I mean,
it was funny. I was talking to Magic just before, and he said actually Online Kingdom used it against MSI once, and they waited another 3 months before they actually used it again.
That's why it's so rare, because it's easy to counter. Obviously, if you know if you're even thinking about it. Yeah. If you're just even thinking about it, you can definitely counter it, but it doesn't happen very often for that reason because, as we saw there, so it was an epic play. And again, we talk about last game, I think there was a total of 6 Kongor kills, all in favor of Ice, but they still managed to, come out on the losing end, despite a very, very good game, of course. But we are still waiting for a resume to happen here, as both teams are still getting things figured out. But once we get that started, of course, going to see the lanes and how they set up. Again, both teams really curious in how they go to lane, but there are many, many options, really, on both sides. So
definitely are. We should probably run out for everyone out there who actually are big fans of these guys. We'll run very quickly about actually who's playing who. That's one thing we actually haven't done. Sure. Ramzo, we're playing as our Sandwraith. We're going through the Legion side.
Well, it's Brized also.
Bryce.
Definitely known more as
Bryce.
Brized.
He's playing on the Legion side.
Also known as DOP Emperor, by the way.
See, I don't have any more aliases. We'll just now call him Team Alias. We'll just go from there. Jar will be playing as our Thunderbringer. We have Milorn, and likes to have a bit of a snooze on the end. He's playing as our Vindicator. Chipu, Tagosu, and our big man, who we weren't really expecting to be so good as he was. It is Purify Fire. He is playing as our Hammerstorm for the Legion side.
That he is. Again, he is the ringer, of course. In case you haven't been tuning in for that or aren't aware of that, of course, Ice came here with only 4 players originally. Unfortunately, Josh, their 5th player, he had some health concerns before the plane left and was not able to go as a result. So they came in here with 4, not knowing what they were going to do. Admins here, again, a great organization. They got on the phone, called around to local Singapore players. Sure enough, they found Purify Fire, and sure enough, he's actually happens to be one of the best players in the Southeast Asian section. So it really worked out perfect for Ice, and that's just it. They've definitely been riding that wave right there. The other thing, too, again, Bryce, he, too, wasn't technically originally on the normal roster. 4 hours before the plane left, he got a call, hey, you want to compete in the tournament in Singapore, a free trip and everything, and chance at $10,000? Why the hell not?
I'm not doing anything. I was going to go.
I was going to go to the store today, but
it's like Thanksgiving
I guess I
something?
can hold that off. At Thanksgiving, maybe. But, I think he made the right decision here. They are in the finals after all, and now again guaranteeing themselves at least 4,000, but going to try to play for the eventual 10,000, of course.
I love it. The blame is actually coming out while all these guys are waiting for the headsets. It appears we've had a couple of sound issues actually coming from these guys, so it's just we've got to go through it. There's a bit of a joke coming through that Ice have used up 90 minutes of stoppage time. So
they have paused the most.
We can literally
I think that's safe to say.
We can literally play an entire game of football over again.
Yeah. We definitely could.
It's a good thing we don't have stoppage time.
It's really
like, no, the sacrificial shrine said, no, I still got 90 more minutes to come back from this one. It's for the time you wasted.
Yeah, so, again, we don't know exactly what's going on, but we do have some admins up there making sure it's getting worked out, because there are a lot of people here, as, of course, a lot of people tuning in. In fact, a Honcast record we mentioned earlier, tuning in 4,600 plus at the last point we checked. I'm sure, it's constantly going to be growing, so I do appreciate you guys tuning in, and especially those of you at DreamHack as well. Thanks for tuning in over in Sweden. Wish we could have been there, but unfortunately we can only be in one place at once. I mean, we try to be more, but it just doesn't happen, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, that doesn't.
All right, ready? Okay, looks like there we go. Go,
it's
please.
It's a shame because Sandwraith actually currently has her dagger straight into the middle of that well. It's absolutely fantastic just watching that animation. It is over though, and we are resumed.
Woo!
We're now live again. There is obviously the game is now completely official with the pause going off, and we get to roll out 1 minute and 8 seconds. It will be before the creep wave will start to spawn, and then this game really does get underway. Of course, in saying that, we've seen so many first bloods, the bloodlust coming out before that's even started, and let's see what happens around this time.
again, we are in a LAN environment. The players can hear us, so keep that in mind when watching this cast. We obviously have to stay away from calling out strat calling, as you like to say, and calling out the obvious of, oh, here's someone's a gank, and then all of a sudden like, oh, hey, we heard that. So, yeah, obviously we have to stay away from that, as you saw last game as well with all the conquers that happened. So, yeah, definitely keep that in mind. But, yeah, so the laning phase, as always, going to be interesting to see how it goes about, because honestly, both teams, they don't necessarily have a set, obvious strategy. They really don't. It's going to be interesting to see how they go about it, as obviously both of them moving around right now, and now 25 seconds and counting before the game officially starts, before the bells ring and the runes spawn, of course.
Yeah, that it definitely is, because no one will really show themselves at this period until you're literally getting ganked or there's some sort of initiation coming off, because all the teams, obviously, this time is very, very, it's easy to move around. There's no creep waves, there's no real pressure that gets applied to you by the other heroes, so it gives you that time to have a look around. Where do we want to gank it? Of course, is there a tri lane? Is there a quad lane? Are they running 2-2-1? You're just never quite sure at this point until they get shown, and the creep waves force you to actually show yourselves. That's literally what happens. The creep waves will push themselves out, they'll push towards the towers, and then you go from there. So there's only so much time you can look around, and I think we actually saw the little bit of first looks up there with I think Chipper and Bubbles exchanging glances over a rune. So yes, I don't think they will be chatting each other up. In fact, I'm pretty sure they have a desire to kill each other at one point. But you will wait for it. So now we can see the first bit of our lanes. Vindicator shows himself down there in the bottom lane, as we were kind of expecting. Thunderbringer also coming up at the moment. So
interesting.
Very, very, very interesting lane down there on the bottom lane. Going up against Flint Beastwood all by himself. You go for the dual lane in the middle, Hammerstorm as well as Chipper going up there. And who are they going up against? We've seen Pebble showing himself up there in the mid lane for just a little bit. Head up towards the top, and it's Solo Sandwraith going up against Bubbles.
Yeah.
And, well, wait for your time to shine. That still leaves actually now one hero left unchecked, with Witch Slayer showing himself up there in the bottom lane.
Well, yeah, so this is the interesting thing. As I said, it's going to be, interesting to see how both teams go about it. The Hellborn team, they went with what we expected. However, they went with the tri lane in the long lane. Honestly, you may expect that, though, with the Flint Beast to be in the range that he has. And with that said, I honestly think they were expecting the tri lane to be top, so they set up in a 1-2-2. But, it just so happened not to work that way. We do see some rotation perhaps going on. So, but yeah, very interesting on the Legion team. I mean, obviously with the Vindicator, Thunderbringer, you never see that. Right now, Thunderbringer is down here currently doing his thing with the farm. You see Vindicator and Hammerstorm now in the middle lane against this Pebble. So, yeah, we are seeing the swap. And, of course, Chipper goes up to the top lane. Now, Chipper playing a babysit role, not something, again, you see too often. You would expect it to be a Vindicator, but in this case, they're going with the Chipper. He does have a very good auto attack, and obviously he can harass quite a bit with the rocket. On top of that, as well, in fact, the focus buffer is a very good ability to use. I mean, just at level 1, it absorbs 150 damage, and that's a good amount for, obviously, right away early on in the game. And, of course, if you level it up, it gets eventually to 600 absorption. So you're talking about an excellent babysitting style tool in that. So that's going to be something to keep in mind as well throughout the early to mid game, especially as it goes on. So right now, no action just yet. Of course, we're now 2+ minutes in, still no bloodlust kill. We have the 2-versus-2 lane going on here in the middle as Hammerstorm and Vindicator going up against this Witch Slayer and Pebbles. Of course, the double stun on the Hellborn team, definitely very deadly, and they would more likely look to initiate on the Hammerstorm with that said, as Vindicator cannot, of course, stun himself to prevent it. So we'll see if they do choose to. If I had to pick action anywhere, of course I would have picked the middle lane.
Yeah, you wait for it. In we come. Finally, Behemoth. Fidget's on the wrong side. Fidget's on the wrong side. They do get the stun on Vindicator up on the side. Pebbles goes for the toss. There's no anything able to come through. And what a great AoE stun. That's where you want to get Hammerstorm out. But you're talking it just before that actually happened. And Vindicator casting right on top. Nobody has any more mana. Pebbles is on the front line going, yeah, cool, I might be able to go for this one. Hammerstorm almost got his hammer throw off cooldown, and Pebbles is forced back. He can't stay close. If they go for the initiate there, they might even come up with something. Bit of harassment coming from Vindicator, but it's not really going to come off there. They're going to be happy, but avoiding that Behemoth fissure. How important is it to actually get that down? And it was on the wrong side.
Oh, again, we talked about this earlier, I believe, in a previous series with the EG. B-Kid, known as one of the best Behemoth players in the world. It's not too often you see him miss an opportunity like that, but at the same time, it was just a very good reaction between Cindermelons and Purify here in the middle lane for Ice, and they just reacted in milliseconds, and they were able to stay on the other side of the fissure stun, and as we saw, resulted in actually a good getaway, and almost honestly turned it around. Behemoth actually got low himself, and you see that, by the way, Sage's sword just being spanned by Vindicator, causing a lot of issues. Thunderbringer at the bottom lane, got caught down there, the fissure stun comes out, there's that flare, slowing him down. Thunderbringer in a lot of trouble, doesn't look like he has support nearby, he's going to try to run away right here. Oh, he gets a health potion, and he gets it right away. He's still alive, unbelievable. Fissure stun will not be up for Behemoth, he does not have enough mana. Can he stay out of here? Flare may be coming, no, he's going to survive. Great surviving there by Thunderbringer, excellent timing with the health potion, using it perfectly and staying alive. So 4 minutes in now at the middle lane, there goes one stun, no mana on Pebbles, however. There's a turnaround for Hammers with the stun. On to Wish there. Couple more auto attacks. There we go. Bloodlust go for the Legion team. Now Pebbles trying to run away. Again, that Sadisor on top. They might actually. No, Hammerstorm choosing not to dive. Ooh, that would. I don't know about that. He honestly might have. He has boots, even has galvanized, but he chose not to dive. Obviously, his sticker was more than likely that support was nearby. Obviously, it's a little bit easier for us. We can see the mini map, but. He very likely had a kill right there.
Yeah, it would have been very, very possible. Of course, you can look at the other way. Apart from the regen rune actually being taken by Pebbles, he tried to actually use it, but Vindicator right on top of it doesn't allow it to work. Pebbles thought, I can just pick up the regen rune, it'll be fine. I don't have to move themselves back. And even then, Hammer might have been thinking it takes longer to walk back to the base, regen up, and then move yourself back out. Might even cost you a TP to actually do so. So sometimes, even actually not getting a kill is a good sign as well. And, Pebbles can't be the powerhouse he has been before. But we have seen so many times, I don't know if it's from Chu, it was actually from the Malaysians when they played Pebbles, to be able to run in there with 20 HP and back yourself with the stuns. He can do that. He has the burst damage. He can drop you before you can even get one attack on him. So Pebbles is very, very powerful whenever you see him, but with no mana, he is literally just a big rock.
Well, touching on that too, again, that all goes back to Vindicator. We did mention the aura and how effective that would be against the Cellborn team, but we didn't mention it was a Sage's lore and how honestly really effective it would be against the Cellborn team in the laning phase, and we're seeing that right here. Pebbles and Witcher are both, they constantly just have very little to no mana as a result of that. I mean, Pebbles, neither one of his abilities he can obviously use. He wants to save the combo to, initiate or defend even, but he cannot do it because he's forced to either, more than likely, Chuck, obviously being a lesser mana cost, or actually it's the same mana cost, but he has to either Chuck or Stalagmite and at least put some damage to the creep aid, maybe try to catch somebody, or else that Sage's Zora is going to take down both life and mana. So that's obviously been an issue here, and the fact we see another Sage's Zora going out, he just cannot keep his mana up. He does have a mana battery, of course. That's pretty much obvious item. Yeah, he does have the bottle as well, but he even throwing out a finish on. He steals the Infizron that happened to spawn right there as soon as Hammerstorm and Vindicator were heading up there as well. So excellent rune control right there from B-Kid.
It's not really going to help him. Like, you got that Invis, but he can't do anything with it bar give vision because he can't have enough mana for a fissure. So it doesn't even matter if he's walking around with that one. He can't lock him in place, and that's where Behemoth loves those Invis runes. He can get himself up on the high ground, throw down the fissure, lock him in place, and let the rest of his team actually do the work. But while he's there, he can't really do anything, and that's the biggest problem that he'll actually be facing. He can land a hit, but that's all. But when you're coming up against Hammerstorm and Vindicator in the middle lane, there is not a lot that's actually going to stop him. You still got the stun, you still got the ability to suck all the mana out of him, and damaging. Even Flint Beast with the flare goes up. He was thinking about going, and Pebbles for once actually has enough mana to use the spell.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, I'm sure he's excited about that. Finally has enough mana to actually use one of his spells, but still, it's only one. Again, Pebbles is a hero that he relies on the combination. If he can't combo, it definitely really hurts him quite a bit. Actually, at the bottom lane a little bit, we saw Flint Beast chopping pretty low. Again, that's that burst damage we were talking about at the very beginning. Jaw especially, this is the third time we've seen him play Reason. I believe we saw him play it a couple times in the semifinals. He loves to play Thunderbringer, getting initiated right here. Ultimate from Bubbles coming in. There's a silence, and an easy kill on a Thunderbringer. It's either lack of communication and just a great gank right there from Bubbles. As we, again, Flint Beast was taking a bit of pressure, but Bubbles came in to clean up, set up the kill on Jaw, and just like that, we're tied at one hero kill apiece.
Yeah, slight overkill actually there from Bubbles. He didn't need to drop the ulti. It held him in place there, but his Song of the Sea was more than enough to actually do the rest of it. And, overkill, won't have that for a little bit. Mid lane now getting yanked off here. Vindicator stuck up there. Witchslayer throws him up in the air. They do actually get done. It was the ultimate coming in from Thunderbringer that did bring him down while he's being done by the tower. The tower would have actually got the kill, but he wants to steal it. Behemoth now showing himself in the mid lane as well. Pebbles up to level 6. He's got to keep those levels up. We've talked about it so many times. Chipper actually comes in. Thunderbringer from the side. Behemoth fissure. It's not going to be enough. It doesn't stop Chipper. Even Chipper just firing off a rocket in celebration of the death. But it does come out with Behemoth dying after that one gank in the middle. 3-2. 3-2. We once again see Ice in front.
Yeah, and Chipper is actually, he's obviously level 5 still, but will be level 6 soon, and that ultimate obviously caused a lot of issues. But again, despite all that action in the middle lane, been very, very active, but what it's going to come down to is how the farm looks on both Flint Beastwood and Sandwraith. Yeah. And as you can see, Sandwraith, his farm up here, honestly not too great. He hasn't been doing that great of a job. He's had a somewhat of a tough time against this Bubbles. And despite Chipper honestly being up here for the most part, so Bubbles really deserves a lot of credit for his gameplay so far. And his farm is actually looking good. He has a level 8 already. He's really been doing a great job, of course, being played by Dodo here. Definitely a player that maybe doesn't get a lot of the respect that he honestly deserves because he plays these heroes that, kind of quiet a lot of the time, but doing a lot of great things and definitely shutting down Sandwraith. He's going to initiate right here. The focus buffer is on, and the ultimate from Bubbles as well, locking him down. The finish stun comes out. Absolutely nowhere to go for Sandwraith, and an easy kill for the Hellborn team. You see 4 players all exposing themselves out of nowhere, and Sandwraith just gets picked off. So Hellborn team, they know that Sandwraith cannot get out of hand, and they are making sure of it with another hero kill, or with the hero kill right there.
Yeah, that's a lot of resources to commit. Like, obviously, you want to lock that Sandwraith out, and by committing 4 heroes, you're taking 4 heroes out of lanes to actually do that. Like, you've been having a solo player on the top lane. Bottom lane, Thunderbringer's able to still free farm it out here. Vindicator's having a very, very easy time up there against Pebbles in the middle lane as well. There's a lot of areas where the tension gets pulled off. You do get the gank there on Sandwraith, but you've got to keep tabs there. You can't allow the other heroes to actually get OP as well, because if they get themselves farmed up, everyone in Ice, and this is the way Ice likes to play, they like to actually have every single hero make a contribution. It's not just the fact of, oh no, your support, you're going to come out, oh, Bubbles, one's done, rocket, oh,
panic Q!
Could he? No!
Gets taken out.
He's a dead shell.
Obviously what I mean by panic Q, the Q on the shell surf ability, and he spammed it, unfortunately, and so it hit it twice right away.
Oh, Thunderbringer
at the top lane, the tower's also low. Thunderbringer with the blast. Flint Beast, a money shot attempt. The focus buffer is not going to be enough. Absorbed on Flint Beast will well drop as well, sacrificing his life at what cost right there. Behemoth now trying to run away from Sandwraith Illusion and Hammerstorm. He will be going down. Sandwraith picks up the kills. He ports in, and now Witchslayer in a lot of trouble himself. He is pushed way beyond the tower a little bit too far. They're trying to find him in the jungle. Will they find him? Can he port out on time? Oh, they're still looking around. Is it going to happen? Anything? Can they get the vision?
They can't.
Oh my God, there goes Sandwraith, and he will get a kill. A double tap in the end for Bryce right there on Sandwraith, and they're also going to deny the tower. Great comeback fire right there from the Legion team.
You know, the funny thing is, Hammerstorm saw him then, and was just like, I don't want this. Let's give it to Sandwraith. It's like, you're not going to go anywhere. You have no TP. He had no items whatsoever. Let Sandwraith do 1 hit, 2 hit, and it all comes off. We're going again on top. Sandwraith getting ganked with a tier 1 tower. There is no pressure. Vindicator trying to keep it off here. Bubbles holding Vindicator in place. He can't run any further. He will get stunned. Pebbles in the middle. He's running away. He doesn't want to get stunned. There goes the toss. Dies in the air. Lies on his back. And Lord does actually go down.
The Vindicator aura came into play there. Bubbles wanted to ultimate Sandwraith, but because the aura, he was not able to, because he silenced after he used his silence ability. So we are already seeing it come into play, and sure, he sacrificed his life, but that's what a Vindicator does. He's a support player. If he's going to sacrifice his life to save a hero like Sandwraith, by all means, it makes it worth it. So right now, it's a 7-5 hero kill advantage in favor of the Legion team, 11.5 minutes into the game. So as expected, again, as well, action really picking up here, especially, this Hellborn team, they're set up. You just expect movement and all over the place. Speaking of that starts with Pebbles, really, and Bubbles as well, which we haven't seen him move around. Well, Pebbles, he's starting to get up there as well. He's level 7, obviously taking a lot of Sage's lore harassment, but chew on Pebbles. He's not a hero you just want to ignore at all, because he will really take over the game, as we've seen so many times.
Yeah, you also notice, to try and counter that Sage's lore, considering he's so low on mana all the time, Blood Chalice is now on top of him. He wants to have that mana. He wants to be effective. Without his mana, Pebbles loses his strength. There's no burst damage. There's nothing that can really pop off. As Bubbles being very, very confident hit the tower there, and actually knowing he's not getting hit by it. As mid lane being pushed, you got Flint Beastwood there. You got Bubbles ready to have a bit of fun. And you got to be ready for the initiate. It's going to be coming from somewhere. Where's it actually going to fly in from? And what lanes are actually up at the moment? Like at the moment, Sandwraith free farming the top. No one showing off. Bubbles with a bit of a go. There we go. Thunderbringer's called out. He's done. He's going up in there. They won't bring him down. He might escape. No, he won't. Sandwraith actually comes in through the back of the Illusions. They're trying to chase him on down at the moment. Pebbles in a bit of trouble. Hammerstorm actually getting the double stun there on Bubbles as well. They might even go through. Over again. The shell stuff goes up. Shipper's almost dead. Now he is actually in fact dead. Lets off his ulti just in time. It's not going to be enough. Hammerstorm still moving himself around at the moment. Sandwraith is still alive. He is hunting. He is hunting this Flint Beastwood. He will not escape. There is no way you can run away from a Sandwraith when the desert is literally just swarming all over you. And the only person, Behemoth, TP's out. 2-1 left on the field. What an engagement from both teams to actually come out that good.
Vindicator ultimate used in the beginning of that fight. Obviously, that 3-second silence at level 1. A lot of issues there for the Hellborn team. They rely so much on being able to use their abilities, and obviously they were not able to do that. They do not have a lot of right-click heroes, and obviously the only one pretty much being Flint Beast in terms of auto attacks. So if they're not able to cast, they get locked down, and so that's why Vindicator again was such a big and smart pickup here for the Legion team. And several times now we've seen him big time coming to play. And Sandwraith right there, he was he got caught chasing somebody, he got the kill, then he ended up coming back and cleaning up like we saw. So definitely doing a lot of damage himself, and of course his farm is picking up. He isn't sitting on too much. Again, he's only sitting on those ghost marches really, and a power supply at this point. So struggling in that sense, but at the same time, after a fight like that, a double tap and 4 hero kills in total, you got to expect that he's perhaps saving up for something, or will have something in the near future. With that said, Thunderbringer and Pebbles running into each other. Pebbles picks up the haste and he uses it immediately. Chucks Chipper right there onto Thunderbringer, then runs away in good old-fashioned style. Honestly, if he throws stalagmites right there, actually might have done quite a bit, but obviously Hammerstorm was nearby as well, and would have caused a turnaround. So played it safe, and going to fall back instead. And so the Legion team looks like they're falling back themselves as well.
It's right. Pick your right time to shine. Look at the haste actually coming through. Big stun right over the top. Bubbles joins it as well. Chipper's actually getting done from the side, but great ulti comes out, but it's not enough time. We do see Witchslayer also coming in to join the party, but it's a little bit too late. They've already claimed the 2 kills, and it's 5-3 now up on the board here. 11-10. 11-10. They still have the lead.
Yeah, they do. And so right now, a 4-man push in coming from the Hellborn team. In fact, 5 in total, as which they're also joining the party. You see the Sage's Sword, though, on him, obviously causing some health issues and some mana drain right there, but definitely a good fight. And they also take out the tower as a result of it. In the meantime, Bubbles actually catching Vindicator right here. He's going to try to get away, but the ultimate holding him in place. The money shot on him. Going to be overkill, but at least they get it. And a good job picking up. So, well, look at that. Sandra ultimate on top of that. He ports it on top of Pebbles. He takes out Witchslayer. He gets comboed out by Pebbles, and down he goes. He jumped in just to kill Witchslayer. Thought he could double. Rocket from Chipper. He takes out Witchslayer right there. Bubbles. And the rest of the players will get away, but 2 players down like that. 4 in favor of the Legion team, but a good kill by the Hellborn team, killing Sandwraith, making him pay for overextending right there.
Yeah, what an amazing rocket to come out. You just never knew. And now they want to go. 1 more rocket, 2 more rockets. Those rockets are pinned on target. He's got no more mana left. Pebbles TPing out. The lightning comes down from above. It's like Zeus's hammer right on top. And they get themselves straight back in this game. They lose a couple of heroes and they instantly get some... they just get back. I'm out of words. I'm out of words.
You really are, but no, it was good job right there for the Legion team coming in, setting up that kill on the Pebbles. He tried to pour it out. Would have been a great escape if he was able to succeed with it, but Thunderbringer's Blast Lightning, as you said, coming from the skies, Zeus style, and taking him out. So good play right there. And again, this is such an action-packed game. Bubbles actually porting in right here. He needs to be careful though, as he gets the Sage's Aura right after the fact, but using a take cover to take it off immediately, of course. But again, another back-and-forth game. In terms of keys to this game right now, what both teams need to look for. Of course, Behemoth going for that portal key is obviously going to be huge here for the Hellborn team. Hammerstorm as well could definitely use a portal key. Whether or not he'll go for that style, who knows? But a portal key on him is shrunken in, also a very powerful combination. Allows him to stand in those team fights, activate his ultimate, and do a lot of damage. Not a hero that requires a lot of damage-dealing items, of course. Interesting here, by the way. Sanders picking up 3 Soul Scream rings. He just really wants to get those stats early on. Again, he kind of had not the greatest farm early on in this game, so just getting what he can. Also a bolstering armband on top of that. So with that, you would kind of think maybe an Ice Brand pickup, but again, we'll have to wait and see as he's now farming this top lane. Runs into Bubbles, though. Takes a turtle shell and actually immediately turns around, but Pebbles is chasing. There goes a curse. No, it doesn't look like they're going to continue. Pebbles, no portal key yet.
The Rockets, they've found out Witchslayer. He was running around. The lightning comes through, gives him vision on the side. He's still trying to run out there. It was a miniaturized Thunderbringer, but he does actually build his own grave and fall in it.
Yeah, that he does. So good pickoff right there from the Legion team. Chipper Rockets they were enough right there. Good job also by Sandwraith at the top lane, obviously getting away.
Hammer!
Here we go. Hammerstorm running in with that focus bar for the ultimate activated. Takes the stalagmite. Bubbles porting in. Will he get the ultimate off? Of course he will. There's a side still from Vindicator. Actually, no, it doesn't go off. It didn't even have it yet. Sandwraith is going to port in. There we go. Puts it on top on the Pebbles with the Hammerstorm's assistant. Easy kill for them. And Bubbles getting stand brains and galvanizes Hughes. Hat-trick coming out right there for Purify the Ringer from Singapore. Doing an awesome job throughout this tournament once again here, and just like that, now an 18-14 hero kill advantage of the Legion team. So just back and forth, unbelievable non-stop action here. Game 2 in this best out of 3 series. Ice is currently down 1-0, but again, it could honestly go either way, just like Game 1. $14,000 in total online, $10,000 for first place, $4,000 for second place. Who's going to take it?
Nobody knows that one, actually. It appears we've got someone on the speaker trying to actually say that as well, but I don't think he will definitely know. And Behemoth puts out a fissure on that bottom lane, just trying to clear it up there a little bit. They don't want to lose these tier 1 towers. That's one big thing that you still actually have going here for EG. Every single tier 1 tower is still intact. They're controlling the map, they're moving themselves around. Look at these rockets just flying out right in front of Witchslayer. You don't even know which one's the real. There were 3 you managed to see with 1 rocket. And it's like, oh my Hannah, who the hell am I actually facing down here? Tier 1 tower is still up on the bottom lane. It's the only one that still exists here for the Legion's side. Can they defend it? That's going to be the big question. Is it going to be pushed? Where's the lanes? No one's showing themselves. Bar Pebbles up there in the top lane is having a great old time just free farming. Does he actually have... No, he doesn't actually have that port key just yet. You get that on Pebbles, though, and all hell will break loose. But that bottom lane, the wave is coming down there. Flint Beastwood as well as Behemoth ready to hit on that tower, and you just feel something. There's tension in the air around that tier 1.
Yeah, I was going to mention Pebbles was free farming for quite a bit out of the top lane. Obviously not there anymore, but you got to figure he's going to have that portal key fairly soon. He did go for all those regen items first. You're talking about that, the power supply, the bottle, and the blood chalice. So getting all 3 of those mana regeneration items. But again, going against a hero like Vindicator, especially in the laning phase, he wants to make sure he has the mana to be able to combo, and on top of that, the portal key as well, which costs another 75 mana. So wants to make sure that he has it taken care of. And again, with the free farm that he had at the top lane, you got to expect very likely he will be having it soon. And that's where Pebbles in general, let alone on Shu, is very dangerous. So Legion team, of course, I'm sure they'll keep that in mind. But heroes like Chipper, Vindicator, honestly even Thunderbringer at this point, very susceptible to an instant gank on them just from Pebbles alone.
Yeah, it's actually been interesting to see. Like EG, we saw them last time. They used Pebbles, they used Behemoth in that sort of way. We actually haven't seen that duo actually teaming up together for any real fights at the moment. It's always been Bubbles and Behemoth or something like that, just coming over the top of it, and they're just mixing it up. And this is the really awesome thing about EG. They'll never play the same way twice. You're never quite sure. Bubbles, he's found Hammer. Instant TP goes off on the back of the silence. Sandwraith even comes in there just to make sure. Lightning Ultimate comes out to try and see where every single hero are. They might even keep on going for it, but Witchslayer is running us about. Oh, rockets! Oh, you could literally light a button fire with how close that was. Witchslayer now falling himself back, but that was so damn close. As they're just pushing themselves out from all the lanes. But Witchslayer is so lucky to actually be running just a little bit to the right. If he ran his stand, he wanted to retreat through that middle lane. If he got close, it really could have happened. But, well, in the end, no death. That's the way it rolls out. 21 minutes into this game so far.
Yeah, definitely indeed. So great job right there for the Upward team. But again, the Legion team, the porting from Sandwraith, he wasn't able to do all too much so because he didn't have that team support nearby. He thought about going in, but decided to turn around and just play it safe. By the way, we did see more item pickups. Of course, Firebrand finished on Flint Beastwood. So, of course, again, we tend to see that the Frostburn built and then eventually split up into a Frost Skull Geometer Span combination. So more than likely going to be going that. But Portal Key has been finished on Pebbles as well. And so this is where the Legion team definitely needs to be worried about what's going on and, with Pebbles, and always keep that in mind. Bottom tower pushed in from the Hellborn team, so they get that going. That is their 3rd tower kill, in fact, as they now have taken out all the first towers, whereas the Legion team still working on their first tower kill, of course. Obviously, an advantage there for EG. Obviously, now the next thing in line is Behemoth. Want to get him his portal key. If they can get that combination going, going to be looking really good, and an initiation should definitely be in their favor in that sense. But again, this Legion team, of course, they have some very powerful tools to not only initiate themselves, but as well as, play defensively. So it really is going to continue to be an interesting game all throughout, of course. Now an 18-14 hero kill advantage in favor of Ice at this point, 22 minutes into the game, and we'll see what they can make happen. Chipper, in the meantime, farm in the middle lane, hasn't been able to have the greatest farm. Again, he played a babysit style role for Sandwraith a lot of the early game, so as a result, his farm is obviously really hurt. So it's really unfortunate. He did choose to, or he has level 3 focus buffer right now, so he is absorbing a lot of magic damage to whoever he puts it on. We have seen it on Sandwraith and Hammerstorm throughout this game. Again, it causes a lot of issues for the Legion team. But, him being underfarmed is kind of unfortunate. And the Staff of the Master on Chipper, it can be a very powerful item because of that slow on top of his ultimate is so powerful. But at this rate, you shouldn't expect that anytime soon.
No, you definitely won't. I'm loving this kind of like a half defense coming out from Ice. They're like, do we go for the bottom? Can we push up to the top? Behemoth has actually moved all the way out, farming up the top all by his little lonesome at the moment. But a lot of the heroes are going very unchecked here by EG. We saw counter warning happening just around that bottom rune as well. So all the teams that's trying to control this map off a little bit further, they want to get this initiation right. So we've seen it so many times, especially with these guys. You need the intel when you initiate, just like up here in the top lane. Behemoth's getting caught out. He tried to go off. Chipper even coming off. The TP going to come in. He's actually going to think almost TP right on top of the ultimate. In the end, he decided not to, but it's actually still going through. Wishley gets caught out here. Sandray decided to go on the back of that one. Flint Beastwood in the neighbourhood, but Wishley still actually has the dead on the back of him. It finally does actually trail off, but this top tier 1 tower, with that one hero down, it can be pushed, and there's enough support to do so.
Vindicator actually uses ultimate right there, hoping that Sandwraith could ninja that kill onto Witchslayer, but it just did not last long enough. Only 3 seconds. He was able to get the Graveyard Sun off, and of course Sandwraith had to turn around, noticing that Flint Beastwood was also there, but they are putting a lot of pressure on this top tower. We just talked about that, still without a tower kill themselves. Want to try to at least make a little bit of a comeback here in that sense, and well, they'll at least get their very first tower kill. Well, vulnerability used, no one porting in, one person porting in, but honestly, you might as well cancel it because, yeah, they cancel it and just trying to scare them maybe. Not going to happen, though. Easy tower kill for the Legion team, and it looks like they are going to fall back. But the creep pushes in the middle and the bottom lane, of course, right now going in favor of EG at this point, Evil Geniuses and the Hellborn team.
Yep. Pebbles actually having a great old time down there in the bottom lane. He was free farming while the tier 1 tower was going. There was still some thought about trying to actually push out that top lane and try and defend. You saw them hanging around there, but with that one hero down, and of course Sandwraith being around the area, you can't really push it out that easily. You know that the entire ice side will be ready to jump you. They did have the support up there too. There was no one else in the other lanes. Just like Sandwraith now backing towards that middle lane, just trying to push all these lanes out. I love it with these guys. It's like this massive battle to and fro. You can describe these two teams playing as a tug of war.
Oh, yeah, it really is. I mean, the game one was a very similar way as well. As again, I expected going into this, expected to be very, very even, despite what a lot of people may have thought, coming into this tournament, with EG, being the favored. But ICE has shown all throughout this tournament, let alone these two games here, that they can definitely compete and make something happen. And they're trying their best to hang on at least and force a game 3, because again, ICE is currently down 1-0 to nothing to EG here. EG, they win, they win this game, they win it all, take home the $10,000 first place prize. Of course, if ICE wins, we will be going to a third and final game, and how epic, of course, would that be? But no matter what happens, we have had some epic matches, let alone and especially here in the finals so far. But right now, Thunderbringer and Hammerstorm, just farming the middle lane. Seems like the Legion team's having a tendency to hang around a little bit more together. Obviously, as we mentioned, the portal key on Pebbles, and just the strong initiation from this Hellborn team in general. Between Pebbles and Bubbles, again, the Pubbles combination, what I like to call them, can just really, really catch you off guard. But we constantly see that focus buffer from Chipper being spammed on heroes like Hammerstorm like this, so he's able to absorb a 600 damage at this point now with it being level 4, so definitely absorbs quite a bit. He also picked up a portal key, as we did see last time as well. Very, very powerful initiation tool, and maybe a Shrunken Head is in the making, as of course it would be very effective against this Hellborn team.
Yeah, it definitely would. I'm not quite sure about this push which was coming just then. 4 heroes from ICE ready to push out this bottom lane while he's free farming. Behemoth's up there on the top. You guys, as you said, portal key on the back of him. Want to get that one up, but it's just like the entire team here from EG. They're making the most of it. They come in, they just push the lane straight back so easily. Here comes the pawn straight over Hammerstorm. He's done next to tower. They're fighting this next to tier 1. Sandwraith's in the middle of it too. Bubbles the first one. Oh, it's all going off. Pebbles goes off. Behemoth comes in with the ulti. Hammerstorm just shrugs it off. Bubbles trying to hold them all there with the ulti as well. 1, 2, 3. Goes down. Bubbles is on the run out there. So is Flint Beast. We're going for the money shot. It's not enough to kill Chipper. He might think about actually pursuing it a little bit further. Off goes the flare. It's not going to be enough. That's 3 for 1. A 3 for 1 trade, and the tier 1 tower down. Not yet, actually. It's still up, but it should be claimed as well.
Well, yeah, they are going to look to. I mean, will they push it? Actually, it doesn't even look like at this point they're looking to push the middle lane. So a tower will stay alive. Yeah, I mean that's a risk you take. When you dive past a tower like that, they did get the hero kills. Also, in the end, it wasn't a horrible thing to happen, but they don't come out with the tower kill, unfortunately. But yeah, that was just a great team fight by them. I mean, we saw right there the ultimate from Vindicator used at such a perfect time. The initiation on a Pebbles, a lockdown, and then the ultimate right after. Pebbles was locked out for pretty much all of that fight, and then the Chipper ultimate eventually to finish them off, and in a very good placement, by the way. Did a lot of AoE damage, at least to 3 or 4 heroes. Just did a lot of damage there. So well played right there from the Legion team. ICE did a lot of credit for the team fight. And the Hellborn team, they did their best, and at least they were able to save both Flint Beastwood and Bubbles. Flint Beastwood, of course, the important hero there. Definitely needs to stay alive and keep his powerful farm going, which, by the way, he has finished his Geometer's Bane. That
he definitely has too, so keep your eyes open very, very closely for that one. Of course, Sandwraith himself we actually haven't seen him buy any more items in like maybe the past 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since he's actually got any sort of upgrade. And he's going to fall behind on the items because he will be saving and he will actually be morphing it up. But it's just one of those times. I just don't know why he didn't actually go straight for Mock. Obviously, he can push it out so much easier. He can keep on top of it. The crit wave goes down. The Behemoth ulti won't be as effective.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that if you have the farm, you can do it. But instead, we've seen him actually go with 3 of the. I completely forgot the word. But basically,
Soul Screaming.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, the thing with that is again, you look back at the beginning of the game. If he had a very good farm, but that's the thing with the Mocker Brilliance. It's sort of the high cost, 3,400 gold, and even with it being reduced recently. In fact, let me actually double check on that. This is an earlier patch. Okay, yeah, so it is 3,400 gold. I thought I was actually if it wasn't even nerfed yet, but anyways, or buffed, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so it's now 3,400 gold, but still, it's only one item. So during that whole time you're trying to farm it up, you can't have any other items. Where in this case, he wasn't getting that great a farm. He wanted to make sure he could at least get the stats in there and survive somewhat. So he chose to get the 3 Soul Screamings, and now of course we see the Frostburn. So I do agree with you. Mocker Brilliance no doubt would be a very powerful tool, as it always is. But that's why it is it is very good, because at the same time it costs a lot of money and a lot of gold invested into that one item. But a bottom tower push incoming from Bubbles pretty much by himself down here, showing himself with that portal key once again. But now he's going to fall back, it looks like. The Legion team in the meantime making their way elsewhere. In the middle lane, it looks like. Hammerstorm showing himself inside, jumps in. Oh, wanted to catch Witchblade, does not catch him though. Fidget Stun comes out and kind of blocks him off. So the Legion team, or Hammerstorm especially, just going to be done with that and falls back.
That he does. I'm loving this little bait here at the moment. I think Vindicator caught a glimpse of something out of the corner of his eye. He's not quite sure exactly what it was, but he knows something is around. He just doesn't know what it was. With 3 heroes showing themselves there in the middle lane as well. I love it. It's like a ring of rosy for him at the moment. If you just watch the movements of him, it's absolutely hilarious. But Sam Wraith, he does complete that frostburn. I don't want to harp on about it, but he does actually need that very, very soon. It should be the next one. He does have those stats up there.
Yeah.
Open up the items, get that push back. They need to get more map control, and it's only going to come from them. The rest of the team, they've got to focus on the ganking. Hammerstorm, you said he tried to get the initiate in the middle lane just before, didn't really pull off, but you've got to keep that attempting up there. You've got to stay on top of it, and now we do actually see the hero finally actually being shown off for a second. But in comes initiate. Bubbles gets caught off here. Thunderbringer ulti. Sandwraith actually comes up with the illusions as well. Bubbles dead before anything goes off. Silence goes off. There's nothing really stopping. Rocket's still flying through to have a bit of a look around. Look at even Beastwood. They're retreating back on 200 HP of his normal HP of 1300, and 2 heroes down. Now they can finally push this tier 1 tower, gain yourself some map control back a little bit more, and still 24 to 15. You wouldn't really think that Ice is that far ahead in the kill count. It still feels like EG has control of this map.
Yeah.
But as you see through that initiation, it just switches.
Well, yeah, again, the Vindicator pickup was such a good pickup. I can't say that enough for this Hellborn team. It made so much sense between the aura, and we've seen several times on the ultimate, so powerful. After that Hammerstorm jumps in, they pop the ultimate from Vindicator, and the Hellborn team, they just had to run because they can't do anything as they're silenced, of course. They, even Flint Booster does a right-click hero, he could sit there and, auto attack, but without his team being able to support and do much, it's not going to do so much in a sense. So he had to fall back too. But yeah, just a good catch right there for the Legion team. And by the way, I mean, that focus buffer on Hammerstorm, every time he jumps in, he always has that 600 magic absorption just like that. So even if they can cast something, he absorbs 600 magic damage of it. And during the fight, you got to expect Chipper's going to be looking to replace it on him. And you're looking at 1,200 magic damage absorption. And this Hellborn team, at least early on in this game, they're relying so much on magic damage. So that too is a very, very effective ability, of course. So yeah, it's working out really well for them. So Chipper, in the end, despite him playing a babysit role, not necessarily good levels with the greatest farm, he is doing a very, very good job being played by the Togosu here.
Yeah, they definitely are, and because the lane's out of push out, there is a rather large problem at the moment. It's the fact that the Hellborn aren't in any lanes because they're currently trying to finish off Kongol, which they do manage to do so as well. Flint Beastwood looks like he's going to take the token of life. Took him a while to actually do that. Like it was a good maybe minute and a half.
They don't have the minus armor yet. That's true. I mean, they actually have to do it, the good old-fashioned way of sitting there and not auto attacking and banging your head against the wall. But they did finally kill it, like you said. He saw the message, and Flint Beast would turn up picking up the token of life. So, that's a momentum booster for them, and obviously will help them as it always does.
Yeah, if you look for that, like, it did actually go on Flint Beastwood, which is surprising of most heroes to actually throw it on. Yeah. He sits in the back, he wants to do the DPS, but they've been targeting Bubbles down. But obviously Bubbles can drop pretty fast, but if you want to keep him up during those fights, you want those abilities to actually stay up, maybe think about moving it around a little bit. Obviously, hard carry, you want to keep him up as long as possible, so completely legitimate.
It's debatable. Yeah. I mean, Pebbles as well, you can definitely argue for too, because he finds himself in the midst of those fights, obviously jumping in, makes himself very, very vulnerable. So,
and when honestly, he comes out of it too, everything's off cooldown.
Yeah, exactly. So it's whoever, honestly, anyways, is definitely valid, and they chose to go with the Flint Beastwood, as we mentioned. So we'll see how that pays off for them in the long run. But right now, Sandwraith, but again, he's farming the middle lane, pushed up, but he has that focus buffer on him. So even if you do jump in, he's going to absorb 600 of that magic damage, and then you also have to deal with a Vindicator ultimate being silent. So just a very, very powerful team synergy here. Here from Ice here in this game too. And again, they are in a good spot, just like game one. They were in a fairly good spot. In the end, of course, EG came out on top, but EG is in a good spot despite what the team stats say. I mean, the hero kills are 24-15, as you mentioned, in favor of Ice. So looking good right now, but honestly, this is really just yet again another back and forth game at this point.
Yeah, it definitely. This is the way they actually play. Like in their group match, this is literally what happened. It happened in the first game. It's happening here in the second. You see Ice a long way in front by kills. As far as map control goes, it's still pretty balanced because EG know how to move. They know how to make the most of all the different areas. Yeah. They know how to initiate the ganks. So as far as like moving yourself around the map, you're not really too concerned about it. But Ice is in front, and somehow it always goes badly for them. It's just happened twice so far. Can they actually break the chain? If they can break the chain, they take it to a third, they can play off for the big first prize of $10,000. Everything is possible for them right now. But the question is, can they follow through from this point?
That indeed it is, as we've been standing all night long, and so but it is a very entertaining game. With that said, I want to make a note of something. Flint Beastwood actually picking up another Quick Blade, so that kind of leads you to believe, obviously, already with the Geometer's Bane, that he's possibly going for a Nullfire Blade. Now, a Nullfire Blade, obviously, it's a very good slow effect, but it also has that purge ability, and very powerful against the Hammer Storm. Obviously, with his ultimate, if you purge off that ultimate, which no doubt has been a big issue because he jumps in the midst of those team fights, causes a lot of damage, a lot of chaos with that focus buffer on him as well. I could think that that's a big reason why they are choosing to pick up that Nullfire Blade right there. But again, it also provides a very powerful slow. So very, very solid pickup there for Flint Beastwood. And that, again, is something that the Legion team will now have to keep in mind, and, of course, Hammerstorm specifically. On top of that, it also will remove the focus buffer, which I honestly wasn't even thinking about until right now. So that's, of course, another thing. And no doubt the focus buffer, as we constantly said, is a very, very big hassle for them. So several very useful abilities for it.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm actually very interested in the fact that Bubbles is actually running around currently with a puzzle box.
Level 1 puzzle box,
Level 1 puzzle box. An interesting item actually go on Bubbles. Like Bubbles, I do know he likes to go for a bit of a sheepstick kind of build. Yeah. It's a better way of actually going. You can go with the Hex, but instead he's going to go for the minions. I'm wondering if that's just the way that EG go. We need to have a bit of map control. Get that puzzle block up and get rid of those wards. Make sure we have control over the map. We can push them back. Even though we are 9 kills down at the moment, if we control the map, we control the game. It doesn't matter how many times we've died. If we control the map, we can get that initiation, and making those kills back is very, very easy. Those group battles, we've seen them go both ways multiple times, and it's really about the prep. A big thing for the prep to make sure you have the site, they don't. You catch them off guard, you catch them split up, and that's the way it's going to run. If you do that, then the game is yours.
Yeah, it definitely is a different style pickup, but it is a more aggressive style pickup, like I said, and also allows you the map control with the counter warding ability because of level 3 puzzle box. Obviously, you can see invisible and see the wards. An interesting thing here, though, to note, the Nullstone would be actually a very valid pickup on the Hellborn team for a lot of the Hellborn players, including that Bubbles, because it does block the Vindicator ultimate, and that has been such a big issue throughout this fight. On top of that, it actually also blocks a Sandwraith ultimate from making an illusion as well. Speaking of, Bubbles gets initiated on by Sandwraith, but it looks like he's going to fall back and actually be fine for the time being. So just a little bit of harassment and peekaboo style right there. But again, yeah, going back to that is an issue. But with that said, Pebbles did pick up a Nullstone, so he is very aware of that, and he wants to make sure that he cannot get silenced, so choosing to go Nullstone himself.
Yeah, That he is. I just lost complete sound there for a second. Go, Bubble here. Lane pushing in through the bottom lane. Getting completely distracted. It's great. Bubbles is actually still up here, pushing out that top lane. Support coming in from the Witch Slayer as well. They really... I still can't believe there's a Tier 1 tower up. This keeps on happening. This keeps on happening. Yeah. A Tier 1 tower survives 40 minutes into a game. I think it was 50 minutes, the longest Tier 1 tower survived in the last game.
It was quite a while, yeah.
Yeah, just that continuous pressure. And it was EG. It was still EG. They like to really defend the towers. They keep that area to TP out to, and they can easily just keep that pressure on that bottom lane. All the Tier 2 towers, though, are still up. That was something which Ice didn't have in the last game, just to actually have that area to actually move themselves around, because all the Tier 2 towers are still up as well for EG, so no real control swing that way. Yeah. It's a lot of this time at the moment, like, you're moving yourself around, Sandwraith is getting farmed up. This is something which can't happen for much longer. Like, they can't, like, EG, you're looking at this one. Sandwraith, we've seen so many times already how important he is. Pebbles was thinking about having a crack. He's still got that port key, and Sandwraith's scared. Sandwraith moved back instantly the second that actually happened. It was just like, you know what?
Oh, Sandwraith goes up here. He ports up here. Actually takes a Whistler. Can he get away from the finish line? Oh, he does, but the Pebbles combination comes in and gets the kill. With the shrunken head and the ultimate activated. Oh, the take cover, though, used by Bubbles. Not going to be enough, though. He goes down. The ultimate from Bubbles on Hammerstorm, however, but the shrunken head will not make him stun. The flame also coming out. Not going to be enough, but the range from Flint Beastweb finishes off Hammerstorm. In the meantime, down here, more chase going on. Sages lower on Pebbles, trying to chase on this Vindicator now after 4 players being cleaned up. Vindicator trying to stay out of range. Expect that portal key soon, though. Smart play by Swindlemel's right there. He auto-attacks him, so he can't use the portal key. He's maybe going to try to finish off Flint Beastweb, but yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. You're only Vindicator, unfortunately. A genocide for the Hellborn team. Wow. I'm not sure. Sandwraith, I mean, he ported up there. He finished off Witchslayer, but again, it's one of those, it wasn't really worth it. I guess figured he would have had earlier support, or maybe he would have been able to pick up more kills, but in the end, a very, very aggressive push right there. Turned out, kind of come back and bite them in the arse.
Yeah, that did actually happen. What an accent. What an accent. 8 apiece coming up. 8 seconds left. 26-20. This is what we talked about. You have one fight, and it can turn the pressure of this game. And that's exactly what happened. EG, they just had that time. Sandwraith initiating a little bit. I don't think the team was ready. The team was not ready to really go on that one. They split themselves up, and they fought on 2 different fronts at that time. And it really, really did not help them one iota. And in the end, Ice, they put themselves back. I think I jinxed them by actually saying can they actually break the chain of this 40-minute turn off, and well, they can still do that. Like, this isn't an over game. There is no way this game is over.
Definitely not.
We're now clocking 40 minutes, so we're heading into the late game. Everyone should be up to the level 3 ultimates as well, and everything should hit the fan. Apart from Thunderbringer, he's only 13.
Yeah. Flint Beastwood, though, that's actually a good point. He just said 14, in fact, but Thunderbringer, he is a little bit underleveled in that sense compared to a lot of these other heroes. Something like a Pebbles, a Bubbles, who have 18, 17, even his own team, 16 and 17. He's only level 14, so you would like him to have that.
As well.
Yeah, Vindicator, I mean, you would kind of expect that, though. Of course, he does have the level 2 ultimate now, so 4-second silence instead of the 3, so it is a little bit more powerful, so not a horrible deal by any means. Here we go! Pebbles comes in out of Invis. The silence trying to be used by Vindicator. It's not up to, unfortunately. The aura, though, is taking effect. Here we go. Pebbles is still alive quite a bit, in fact. Chipper coming in with the rockets on top of the ultimate. Pebbles is starting to drop fast in the meantime. 3 players already down for the Hellborn team. Down goes Pebbles right there. Flint Beastwood getting survived. Brennan to the side. No! Snipes him down there. Goes to alive. He will come back off. Can they finish him off? Of course they can. He is not going to get out of this. Absolutely no way. He gets knocked down. A hat trick comes out for Melvin. Genocide for the Legion team. And just like that, the game is once again completely turned around.
Can these guys figure out who the hell's supposed to be winning this game? Because it is not happening. It's our turn now. Complete genocide. Not a single hero lost.
Yeah.
When that happened in the last big fight, they lost 1. It wasn't a full clean sweep. And this time around, EG losing heroes left, right, and centre. They got themselves caught out, and they looked for the initiation. We saw Pebbles moving around with that invis, and it wasn't enough.
They didn't even use the Vindicator ultimate. It wasn't even up, and it just came out at the end. They didn't even need a Vindicator ultimate. That shows you how powerful the aura is as well. He was in the midst of that team final round, especially Pebbles, and it did stop a lot of his comboing. So I'm sure he was very frustrated frustrated by that. And if the Legion team can win a team fight without and get a genocide without a Vindicator ultimate, I would definitely be really scared if I was EG. So on top of that, though, EG did get a little spread out, and ultimately that did help the Legion team, of course. But it is unbelievable how we were just talking about EG definitely building momentum. You know, they're looking good. They got the token of life on Flint Beast, but he's getting a lot of farm. But all of a sudden, a genocide with no players lost with the Legion team, and it really is just unbelievable. This series it's been like this. I mean, just when you think one team is starting to gain something, all of a sudden the other team comes back.
Yeah, it's always what happens. Like we were talking about how they're under-leveled. One fight can get you back up to that. Thunderbringer now, level 16. His ulti's up. Vindicator gained 2 levels during that big fight as well, so he's up to 13. And they're all getting themselves back up to levels. Like the lowest level at the moment, the Wooden Spoon goes to Witch Slayer, but that's just his role. That's just what he's supposed to be anyway.
Yeah.
But 31-20, 42 minutes into this one. Still no racks down. I can't emphasize how important that is. The racks is literally how you win this game. It doesn't come from a Kongor kill. It doesn't come from taking out the tier 2 towers. It doesn't come from getting a genocide. Unless you can literally push inside the base.
Yeah.
All those things all those things do actually like pull into it. But unless you can pull that off, Bubbles!
No, it's an illusion.
Oh, I was getting excited.
It always does catch you off guard.
He was green.
Some heroes are like that. They're
I got excited.
than others, but. Thunderbringer actually using the ultimate. Santa's going to put in there. We're trying to do Congo right here. Witch Slayer going to drop right there. Santa does port in. Pebble starting to drop it as well. Vindicator using his ultimate on top of that. Bubbles ports back in, actually. The Bubbles ultimate knocking the old Hammerstorm down. He gets out of there with a truck and a Willie Chase. It looks like it cuts over to the right. The Rocket's coming out. Split right there. A Legion team, though. They're choosing not to overextend right here. A Courier actually got killed. Doesn't look like anything dropped. But one of the Couriers, it looks like the Legion team lost their Courier. You see the Puzzle Box minions going down right there. So Conger dropped to about half life right there. Good job. That's why it's so hard to do Conger against Thunderbringer and Sandwraith. I mean, if they suspect that you're doing Conger, one of them will use their ultimates, and well, sure enough, they saw it right there. They went in and cleaned up a couple of heroes and prevented the actual Conger kill from happening. So well played right there from the Legion team.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
Things going back to normal now.
Yeah, on the downside of that one, they both use their ultimates just then.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
They can't check for another about 60 seconds or thereabouts. So you do have to keep your eyes open. But they do have so many different things they can see it. Like even just firing off a couple of rockets from Chipper will Ansley find it. Oh, look at the Hammerstorm comes in. Pebble shook it out of this one. Does in fact, but comes straight back in the midst. He's right in the middle of this at the moment. While Thunderbringer's doing everything he can. They're right on top, but Chipper Roldy actually comes down too. Hammerstorm doing everything he can. The stun's coming from the Wish Slayer from the side. Hammerstorm should go down. In fact, in comes Behemoth. Ports himself in. Thinks he might have a go here. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. Trying to pull himself back here as there's enough damage comes through. Bubbles rejoins the fight as well. Sandwraith TPing out. Can they do enough damage? Even the Ancient Creeps are coming in to have a bit of a slap, but they're not going to get it. We do see another hero go down too. The Lord going off. Flint Beast one again. He survived. Oh, there's Pebbles coming right on top of there.
Flint Beast one and Dot's taking him down. No, down to 30 life. It does not last long enough. We've got another auto attack. Would have been getting a kill right there, but Flint Beast barely survives.
Congo
and
kill.
the Hellborn team is going to get the Conger kill. So that was so close. The big thing, though, like I stated earlier, the Null Fire Blade from Flint Beast, but he used it right away on Hammerstorm. The ultimate was taken off, and he was hitting for much, much, much less damage. I mean, we're talking about a level 3 ultimate. I believe that's something like a 250 or 150 base damage increase.
Oh, Sandwraith! He's managed to actually catch out Bubbles. Bubbles was going for the bit of a fun side. Does actually get himself out there.
Yeah, he's difficult to kill for that reason. He uses the take cover, resets the portal key, and he can just portal out like that. So a good attempt, but he almost got him. He could have ported on Witch there. Would have gotten more than likely an easy kill on him, but he chose for Bubbles, took the risk, and didn't come through with it. But another Congo kill here for the Hellborn team, and once again, of course, using the we're going to be able to use the Token of Life.
It's on Pebbles this time.
It is on Pebbles this time. So we talked about that last time. You can't really. It is hard to debate, who it should be on. One of those 3 heroes, but yeah, like I said, Pebbles. I think that obviously is the confident one there, being that he's in the midst of those. And so a good pickup there. Portal Key also picked up on Behemoth, by the way. I think he has had that for a while, but I don't think either of us have mentioned it. So solid there, as we talked about. And Sandwraith now goes back to the middle end, continuing to farm. By the way, he's been sitting on the Ice Band for a little bit now. I honestly would expect that he's going to turn that into a Frostwolf Skull, which will be very useful, especially against this Flint Beastwood, who relies on a lot on a fast attack speed. And obviously that does slow down your attack speed quite a bit, as well as the slow.
Actually, I'm liking one thing at the moment. Behemoth has actually gone for a Void Talisman, so he can actually port himself in, let off everything he's got, and then just fire that one off. He can't be attacked. He can be spellcast on.
It's kind of dangerous, though, because they did change it recently, where now you have... Here we go, though. Hammerstorm jumps in, and Nullstone, though, procking against the hammer right there, and Hammerstorm activates the Struck Head, though. Bubbles dropping fast. Look at him just focus fire Hammerstorm. 3 hits or so takes him out. Oh, the silence from Vindicator. Stop Bubbles from porting out, but he is going to be able to run away. Hammerstorm being chased. Pebbles jumps back in. Down goes Hammerstorm right there. Sandwraith's ultimate coming out. Excuse me, those are Geometer Beams, actually. Sandwraith does not have his ultimate yet. Ooh, Vindicator, what are you thinking, buddy? He comes back in, gets picked off, and Sandwraith is actually pushed up. No, he's behind, so that was the Geometer Beam illusion still. No Sandwraith ultimate, kind of unfortunate there. Not sure what Vindicator was thinking either, but 2 players picked off right there for the 1 exchange. Now the Hellborn team going to make a little bit of a push here, perhaps.
Yes, Sandwraith's ultimate was actually still on cooldown. It will be coming off in about 5 seconds. He'll actually have it back again. He's probably going to need it with those 2 heroes down. The mid push will come. Pebbles is on the front lines. Beastwood hitting from behind. They saw Behemoth just slightly crossing across. Now Bubbles will join the mix as well. Tier 2 tower goes down. Will they push? Ice doesn't like to push. They take out the Tier 2 and then they fall themselves back. Now the Tier 3 straight in. Tosses it back in towards the mix. Chipper is in a lot of trouble. Pumps up the ulti before he's going to die. Does die, in fact. Sandwraith is still doing every possibly can. He's actually gone outside the base here. Bubbles is trying to run back out. We do have Pebbles as well. They're all blocking each other. It's literally a traffic jam down the middle lane, but they can still get it off. Sandwraith attacking from behind. He does get tossed. He does go back, and wow, still 2 heroes dying from the Legion side. Not a single casualty for the Hellborn.
They did save the tower, though. Well, they saved the middle tower, as we see the top tower actually get taken out by a creep push. They did save the tower, and they saved it for taking quite a bit of damage, in fact. So it barely took any damage, and although they didn't get any kills themselves, they did prevent a big initiative or a big aggressive push right there from the Hellborn team. So ultimately, that really was a very successful defensive stand by the Legion team right there. Well played on their part. They still do, however, they still do, however, have to deal with the Token of Life on Shu, who, by the way, just finished his demonic breastplate. So very big pickup, especially on a hero like him. Increases the attack speed as well as, of course, the minus and plus armor for them. So as always, a very good item pickup. But yeah, so right now, again, we're kind of in that swing now. EG, once again, gaining the momentum swing back again. But you cannot sit here and say that they're going to come through with this, because we've seen so many times, we keep reiterating it. It seems like we've had a lot of back and forth, and, well, I would not be surprised if that happens once again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. It's just here Korea flying down with a new thing for the Sandwraith. So Frostwolf Skull has actually now been completed on Sandwraith. He'll have that to play around with on the bottom lane. This is going to help him even more during those fights. Really try and get on top at the moment. Of course, we do at that point, 49 minutes into it, the creeps get us that little bit stronger, a little bit harder to push themselves back just to balance it off. But watch for these lanes. The creep lane, it pushed out. As you said before, Tier 2 tower went down just by a standard lane pushing out. So when the momentum builds up, you've got to keep your eyes on it. You can't always just sit back at base. Yeah. Even the Tier 3 towers are the only things that are standing between EG and a $10,000 prize pool here from DYA. It's a lot to go against.
Nullstone also picked up on Flint Beastwood now, so obviously he's not necessarily a hero like a Pebbles that relies as much on being silenced as he is that right-click hero, especially with the way he's built now. But honestly, I think that really is more so for the Sandwraith ultimate. Again, it prevents at least one more illusion from coming out, and although, it's only one illusion, it's one illusion. I mean, and those can definitely deal a good amount of damage, as we have seen throughout the game. And, we're now at the 50-minute mark. Of course, the Sandwraith is pretty well farmed, so the more illusions you can take out, the better. So, and obviously, it also does have its other uses on top of the silence, as well as, of course, the Thunderbringer nukes. So, yeah, it definitely has its other uses as well. And interesting pickup, but at the same time, it definitely has some sense behind it, of course, as well. And Sebuska, I'm not going to sit here and try to second-guess his item pickups by any means.
Yeah, I don't think we're really qualified to do that one. Well, we're pretty close to qualified, but still.
Pretty close.
But still. Actually, interesting also see the puzzle box now to level 3. I think that actually happened just earlier before, but somebody did actually comment there from Bubbles. So he's actually still getting that farm going up there. Managed to also pick up a Blessed Orb, so increasing those stats. See where he actually goes with that one too. I would really, really love to see a sheep stick on top of Bubbles. I really would love to be that initiative and get yourself in there, get that Hex off, and really just take one of those heroes out of the mix, which they really do need to do. Just like take one out. If it's just Sandwraith, he'll pop himself in, you find the real one, drop him out of it, and you'll have enough time to really kill off one, levels up the odds for you, and then you can go nuts.
Yeah, it would be huge for Sandwith, but like you said, if they find the right one, and through a team fight like that, you're so scattered, you're so panicked, trying to worry about so many things, it really is difficult to find that true Sandwith, especially with the geometer speed as well. So, I mean, good luck finding the real one, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you. No doubt a sheepstick would be very useful. You do have to worry about the shrunken heads, though. In fact, Thunderbringer as well has a shrunken head, so obviously you wouldn't be able to use it on him while he has it activated, of course, on Hammerstorm. So you could lock it down Chipper and Vindicator as well. Vindicator, not really a big deal. Chipper, maybe. Chipper, by the way, he's still sitting on that Mighty Blade and Glowstone, so like we said early on, the Staff of the Master, pretty much a core item on him, but his gold form really hasn't all been there, so still doesn't have it, unfortunately, at the 51.5-minute mark. They really can't use it. Rocket actually has scouting out, hitting them, and so they know that a couple of players are there at least.
Who's hiding on the side? They saw him. Bubbles flying over the top. And he comes right on the Vindicator. He was not ready for this. Sandray still going. Throws him straight back inside that Bubbles ultimate. We've got a lot of trouble. Vindicator's trying to fall himself back out of here. Flint Beastwood getting stunned off the side of it, volleying themselves back. They've lost one from either side right now, and it's all going out. Who the hell is all the way up there?
Sandwith keeps chasing the Witch there. He did get the kill on Witch there, but again, he put himself in a horrible spot. He's going to get picked off right here. Chucks right on top of Flint Beast, and it says, here you go, here's a present, and takes out Sandwith. So again, overextension from Sandwith. That's a couple times in this game now. We see him porting in, going way up there, and really away from the team. And honestly, you know, it's the second time we've seen him do it to kill a Witch Slayer. It really isn't worth it when you really think about it, especially to sacrifice your life. So really big mind lapse right there. Hellborn team capitalizing, but I'll tell you this much. I mean, the Nullstone's definitely coming into play right there for the Hellborn team, of course, on many factors. So obviously, great item pickups there. And Vindicator was able to get his ultimate off at the last second, but you know, it was definitely a lot later than they would have liked it to happen. So Hammerstorm, meanwhile, from the front lane, here goes Pebbles jumping right in. The combination right there. Does he have enough to survive? No, he does not. And Nullstone once again coming through for Chew. I don't think it would have mattered anyways, but you see how fast he's attacking. That's why Demonic Breastplate is so powerful, because he hits so freaking hard. 299 maximum damage at this point with really very little damage-oriented items. It's just all the ultimate.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love it. He's just so strong, and this is why you talked about it before. Like you can look at the EG lineup. They don't really need to go anything bar carries Pebbles, because he is just so strong. They did actually throw in the Flint Beastwood in the end just to get that extra bit of damage as well. But their lineup, they can rely so much on Chew as their little Pebbles to do so much burst damage to level it up again. And of course, this buys more time. Hammerstorm, he died. That's another 40 seconds on the sidelines. They can't get through. Vindicator going to get caught off. He tried to go over the silence. Off it comes. Maybe they can catch catch him out here, but no, they will move themselves back. There's a level 4. There's a level 4 Pebbles. You do not want to go up against that one. Or do they? Do they? Behemoth's in. Pebbles goes for the toss again. Vindicator's still around the puzzle box. Vindicator. They might even get the kill. Pebbles trying to go out. No, he's not. He's going to actually fight for taking off life. Behemoth will actually die here with Sandwave being right in the middle of it too. Pebbles back up again. They did manage to lose one of the EG players. Now in comes the stun. Here's nice no one. They all move themselves back here, and Wish they are still trying to move themselves off. It is just an illusion there from Sandwraith as Pebbles is trying to hit it off there, but mid lane.
Jason's Flint Beast for now with the no-stone procs and going to fall back. Actually, no fire used on him. Money shot on him as well, taking a lot of damage right there, but falling back. That Vindicator taking quite a bit of damage again. He has a helmet of Black Legion. That's down the middle lane. Hammerstone boxing out. The shrunken head. Chipper gets taken out though before he can do anything in that team fight after getting taken out before. So Pebbles now chasing this Thunderbringer. So low in life, but he has the mana pool where Thunderbringer really doesn't. Trying to turn around, scares him off actually in the end, it looks like. And Pebbles definitely sitting low in life, around 630, but he is still looking to push up, play very aggressive. He already used the token of life, but who cares? He doesn't need no token of life. He's going to continue to push. In the meantime, Bubbles pushing the middle lane, and vulnerability glyph going to have to be used there by the Legion team. Chipper being down right now is huge. He does have that Staff of the Master we saw going into the last team fight, and he does have his ultimate up, but again, he's down right now, so not able to use it for total purposes. However, the Hellborn team, it looks like they have fallen back, and just going to let the creep waves do as much damage as possible. So again, the Legion team does manage to at least save the towers, but you know, it's kind of it's seemed to be a trend lately. The Hellborn team just constantly just putting more and more pressure. You got to figure shortly they will be able to penetrate through and break through the defensive towers that are in the base.
Yeah, we talked about this again as well. How important it is to actually get yourself into that base and get the racks. One glimpse, they didn't lose too many players, so they could still keep the defense actually going off. So it was just that time you actually go off as looks like bit of lag. I'm hoping we're not the only ones out, and the boys are still going.
That was everyone.
That was a big
God.
big spike.
Don't happen. Let's not knock on wood.
Hopefully the stream's still okay as well for everybody out there.
I believe it should still be going, yeah.
No lag, feels like lag, question mark. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Just like Vindicator getting called out here. He is going to get brought down very, very fast, but they are going to jump in. Hammerstorm, big stun. Might bring down Wishslayer. He is a squishy one to do, but Flint Beast was still attacking the Hammerstorm on the way through. Sandray popped up the ulti as well. Might join it in here. Is the money shot? Yes, it does get the kill. While that's happening, Behemoth was doing damage on the backside as well. The chip ulti has popped off. Rockets flying up there. He gets actually one hit there on Beastwood. He's not quite sure if he's going to live through that, and just moving himself back. I think it's nothing but illusions on the back of that one.
Behemoth jumps back in with barely enough sets and finishes down. Oh, the rockets off from Chipper. Kill Behemoth. The coming up from Pebbles on top of Chipper. Chipper goes down to the auto text from Flint Beastwood, and Sandwraith looks like he may be just falling back. Not worth it for him. He is the only one up right now on the Legion team, and yeah, he's just going to fall back. So good job right there from the Hellborn team overcoming that team fight, and now in good position right there. In fact, the Hellborn team does lose the tower, however, here at the top lane. You do see that creep push going on, so they lose that tower. But in the meantime, Congra's going down right there. Token Alive picked up. Bananas are, I believe, available as well, so we'll see who that goes on. But so Sandwraith, obviously, of course, being by himself, just really nothing he could do, and just has to get out the Congra kill. So that is now the third Congra kill of the game for EG. Not as many last game, of course, but obviously a whole dominant for them this time, and looking really, really good in that sense. And now, maybe looking to make something happen in the middle lane as they are pushing it up.
Yeah, I just love the fact that you look back at the first game. Sandwraith, he wasn't in the pick, but the fact that they just had two extra heroes had to throw in the ban pool, and this Pebbles became available. Yeah. This is why Pebbles gets banned every single freaking time you play Han. Look at that tower, straight down. They can keep the engagement up here, but straight blink in, tosses Vindicator. He's a level 14, squishy little boy. They're targeting Pebbles as much as they possibly can. He does actually have the bananas on top of him, so even if they do this, he can pop it off, fight all over again. They're still in the middle, pulling themselves back here. Sandwraith tries to escape there. He does get locked in. Two heroes down at the moment. Storm, he's
GG comes out, and it looks like that is going to do it. EG are your DYA Invitational Tournament champions. They will take home the $10,000 first place prize. I still, definitely know they got a lot further, honestly, than maybe a lot of people expected. Coming in here with only 4 players, they were forced to use a ringer here from Singapore. Ended up doing a great job. Props to Purify for that. But in the end, EG is just too much. They were the #1 team coming into this event, the go-to team in terms of who would win this event. And in the end, they end up winning it. But honestly, I think a lot of people expected them to maybe roll through it, and that by no means was the case. This was a hell of a tournament, a hell of a grand finals. But in the end, EG are going to be your tournament champions, and will once again take home that $10,000 first place prize. But right now we're just having some dead time, of course, some stats purposes, feeding up those stats here on Garena Han. We see Flint Beast going down right there, of course, going to resurrect with the Token Alive, pounding that damage into Vindicator. A couple of shots later, he's going down. Sandwraith getting caught here in the chuck up, Behemoth catches it in the chuck as well. Down goes Sandwraith, a genocide for the Hellborn team. And there goes the vote to concede. That should officially do it. Evil Geniuses are your DYA tournament champions. Make some noise. Yeah, there you go. All right, $10,000 to them. Again, $4,000 though will go to Ice. Congratulations to both teams. What an event.
Well, what an amazing play. Like, you just look back, even that last game, Tiny here was strong, but the whole EG side, they've gone through this entire tournament and they didn't drop a single game.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
That's actually not true. Singapore
they did, yeah. Impunity did take a game off them in the semifinals. Yeah, exactly.
So Impunity can be very, very happy with themselves right now. It's exactly. We took the only match off EG.
Yeah.
They are most definitely the undisputed champions of Honor at the moment across the world.
I mean, with this victory here, again, it's just another case of them being on top of the scene, and, they showed up once again. So, there we go, on camera now, but... Wow, I'm sure we look pretty worn out after that match because that was the series as a whole. It was just both, nearly hour-long games for both games. It ends up being only 2 games, but what an epic 2-game series. Again, it could have, I know I say this a lot, but it really could have easily been a 3-game series, honestly. It really could have been. It could have gone either team's favor. But in the end, EG are victorious for a very good reason.
Yeah, they are. They played well. They played well as a team, and they're drafting the way they actually go. It's very, very smart. They know exactly what they want to do. They do it. They do it on the fly, so they already know exactly where they want to go. So I just love the way they actually play as a team. I'm looking forward to seeing even more of them as well. More Heroes of New Earth will always be coming out, and of course another DYA. keep your eyes open if it happens.
Yeah.
You do not want to miss the qualifiers. This is an amazing experience to be part of.
Amazing event here live from Singapore once again. Shout out to DreamHack who are watching us. I believe we got the live stream up over there. Shout out to everyone around the world that is tuning in. And for those of you that are here watching it live in person, thank you for watching. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the event at the very least. Once again, I'm Breaky CPK. Joining me was Toby Wankanobi, Community Shoutcaster. I'm here on behalf of Honcast.com. Definitely check it out. The VODs will be posted on foulplay.net/channel/Honcast.
As well as YouTube.
Check out our Facebook as well as YouTube over there for Toby Wan. Thanks for tuning in. That's going to do it. Once again, EG are your tournament champions. $10,000 for them. That's going to do it for this game and this cast. We will be back, though, with some player interviews, I'm sure, so stay tuned for that. But going to wrap it up for now. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Toby, you'll be the MC for the prize presentation.
Immediately now. Presenting